Hey guys, Ron White. We got a little bit of a different YouTube video for you today. It's an interview I did with my friend Joel. And in this interview, you will see a couple different things. First of all, you'll hear about how I got involved in memory training and started off teaching memory training seminars. The second thing you'll get is I'll do a demonstration where I'll memorize a 40-digit number forwards and backwards. So I don't always get to do that on these YouTubes, like live in real time. Number three, of course, you'll get some memory tips from me on the memory palace and how to memorize. There's a demonstration that I do when I speak where I'll get everybody in the audience to stand up that I met, like 200 people to stand up, and I'll go through and repeat all their names. And it's basically, if you've watched my videos on how to remember names, you probably have an idea on how to remember names. But there are a few tricks to do if you're doing it live in a group like that, and there's 200 people, and I talk about some of those tricks that I use to do that. And then at the very end of the video, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, that kind of stuff. It's kind of a fascinating topic. So it's a fun interview. I hope you enjoy it. Check it out.
And so I got introduced to Ron, and we became Facebook friends, and we're just now becoming actual real life friends as we've started talking. I invited him to the show. Ron is a two-time national memory champion. He won the USA Memory Championship in 2009 and 2010, and he held the record for, get this, the fastest to memorize a deck of shuffled cards in only 1 minute and 27 seconds. He held this record for 2 years and is a top memory expert. He has appeared all over the media, the Dr. Oz Show, Martha Stewart, Good Morning America, NBC. He speaks from stages everywhere. He wows audiences with his memory prowess, and he's here right now. Please give a warm welcome to Mr. Ron White. Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am good, jet lagged and all, but in light of all that, I'm hanging in there and I feel good. And welcome to the show.
A little bit about me. My name is Ron White. I live in Texas. I'm a two-time USA memory champion. I live here in Fort Worth. I live downtown, so there's downtown Fort Worth out there. When I was 18 years old, I heard about memory training because a guy wanted me to go to work for him selling it as a salesman. So I went to work at the age of 18 selling memory training as a telemarketer, and that was 26 years ago. So I worked for him for about 2 years, and I went and started my own company. But it's all I do. I travel around and I speak at conferences, and I teach people how to remember names and faces, or give speeches without notes, or memorize chapters of books, or remember what they read. I just summed up my entire life in 20 seconds.
Hey, that's good. You know, it was Shakespeare said brevity is the soul of wit, right? Yeah. And so here's my question. Why did you start selling, you know, as a rep? Like, what drew you to memory that you're like, oh, this is cool, I'm going to sell these products?
Well, you know, I was 18 years old. I was enrolled at the University of North Texas, you know, but I really wasn't attending. I really didn't have that much interest in college. But this was 1991. Take a step back to 1988. I was at my friend's house, and we were watching late night TV, and this guy named Kevin Trudeau came on, and he was talking about memory training, mega memory. And we were like, oh my God, we got to get this. It's $79. If you pitch in 40, I'll pitch in 40. And we're like, oh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And we were, you know, high school kids. We never did it. And then I had seen this guy on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson memorizing people's names in the audience. And so I had been exposed to it and so intrigued enough that as a high school kid, I was going to pitch in $40 and get this course. But I never did it. And then 3 years later, I graduated high school. I took a job as a telemarketer. I cold called this guy one day. He didn't want his chimney cleaned, but he wanted me to go to work for him selling memory training. And at that moment, when he said memory training, I'm like, oh my God, yes, that's that infomercial. And he goes, well, that's actually our company. We are the company that produced those infomercials. Huh. So I'm like, oh man, I got to go to work for you. So it was more just when I went to work for that company 26 years ago, I did not care about remembering names and faces. I did not care about remembering what I read. I didn't care about getting good grades. I didn't care about memorizing speeches, which are all things that I teach now as the core things to memory. I just wanted to be cool. I wanted to memorize a deck of cards or memorize numbers and do like a magic trick. So I'll be honest with you, that's what drew me to it 26 years ago.
So here's my next question then is, do you feel like you had a natural bent towards that skill, or did you enter this having the same lack of ability that most of us do?
Yeah, that's when people hear I set the record for the fastest to memorize a deck of cards, or they see me do a memory demonstration, the hardest thing for me to convince them is that I don't have a natural ability. They automatically assume it's a natural ability, and I don't believe it is. If I have a gift at anything, it might be in speaking or presenting or selling it. You know what I'm saying? But the actual system, I really believe if the average person worked as hard as I did at it, they could become a national champion. Also at the right age, I'm 44 now. The current memory champions are in their 20s, early 30s, and I think there's something to be said for that as well.
Okay, so I'm an old dog. I'm 53. And I'm one of those guys that I meet somebody, shake their hand, and immediately I forget their name. It doesn't register. It doesn't go in. And, as a speaker, like you meet so many people, but we're the opposite. Like you probably can run into somebody and then 5 years later see them, and because you're trained, you remember their name. I sometimes don't even remember their face, let alone their name, and I feel horrible. So is there hope for me?
There's hope for anybody. There is. And the next just have to be intentional. You have to be intentional. I mean, I live here in downtown Fort Worth, and so I see the same people over and over again. And I remember I was at a restaurant about a year ago, and somebody came up to me and he said, "What's my name?" Which happens all the time. Well, piss off the memory guy, just do that, okay? But it's like, hey, what's my name? And I said,
Butthead.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I said, I don't know. And instead of him saying, oh, okay, my name is blah, blah, he goes, oh, I thought you were a 2-time memory champion. Very impressive. And I was like, oh, you, whatever. So
do you just say, well, the fact is you're not memorable? Oh,
actually, that's pretty much what I said to him. When he went to the rudeness, then I replied, well, I just remember the people that are important.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I get it. It would get really annoying.
And the point of that whole story is this: even me, a memory champion, if I'm not intentional, if I don't say this person is important, I'm going to try to remember their name, I won't. So, although my answer was rude, there's a lot of truth in it. But if you are intentional, you can certainly improve your memory. Okay,
so you're a 2-time national champion, and explain to me this. I mean, we're not going to demo this. We're going to do a little demo of something so people can see. But what exactly the card memory? Like, what did you do? You just fan through them and then read them, repeat them, or what?
Yeah. So there's something called there's a USA Memory Championship, and there is a World Memory Championship. I've competed in both. That the USA, I've won it twice and came in second twice, and then some other finishes that I don't want to talk about. But basically, it's a series of events. The first event is how many names can you memorize in 15 minutes, and they'll have sheets of paper with 100 or 100. I don't know how many they have now. It used to be 99 faces with first and last names written underneath them. And you'd look at it for 15 minutes, and they take the paper away, give you another piece of paper that had the same faces but all jumbled up in different order, and you had to write out the names. You got a point for every name. The next event was typically, I believe, how many numbers can you memorize in 5 minutes? And they would have these numbers on a piece of paper. Then they take the paper away after 5 minutes, give you another paper, and you wrote down as many consecutive digits as you could recall. I held the USA record for that, 167 digits in 5 minutes. It stood for a year, and then another guy named Nelson came along and broke that record.
Nelson. That's really close to Newman, right? No.
And you get points for that. The next event is the deck of cards, the one you talked about. They'll shuffle up a deck of cards. They'll set it on a table. They'll say, go. I'll pick up the deck of cards. You'll look through it as fast as you can, set it down. And then you take another deck, and you got 5 minutes, and you reassemble that second deck to match the first one from memory. You flip them over, and if you get it correct, you get points for that. And so it's a series of events like that. A guy named Josh Fuller wrote a book called Moonwalking with Einstein. A lot of people have heard of. In that book, he talks about setting a record for the fastest to memorize a deck of cards. That's when I broke his record. That's the record I broke. I believe Alex now, Alex Mullen holds the record now. My card record was 1 minute 27 seconds. It was a USA record.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it is impressive, but the current record is 19 seconds.
What?
Yeah. Mine was impressive too, though.
What? That's like doing a Rubik's Cube in 4 seconds.
Yeah, it's insane. It's a world record and a USA record, actually.
Yeah, that's like the 4-minute mile that's just waiting to be broken again. Okay, so these are some of the things you've done, and I know I saw a post on your Facebook page that when you speak live to a room of 200 people, everybody says their name and then you repeat them. Is that true?
Yeah, basically what I do is as people walk in the room to an event, I'll introduce myself. So I'll get, hey, what's your name, Joel? Joel, my name's Ron. I'll be speaking later. Okay, good to meet you. And I'll do that with 200 people. And then when I get up on stage, I'll say, okay, if you're one of the 200 people I met, stand up. 200 people in the audience will stand up. I'll jump off the stage and I'll run through and call off their names. I don't always get 100%, but I normally get 98, 99%, and it's good.
I would be like, you, right. Bob, Carol, Fred, whatever, whoever you are. So, okay, so let's, all that sounds impressive. I'm not sure what kind of demonstration you want to do here that works over video, but lead me, oh great one. Let's wow people.
Yeah, okay, well, we can have some fun here. This is what we'll do. I want you to give me 2-digit numbers, so any number between 10 and 99. I'll have you give me, I don't know, I'll stop you whenever I feel like it's getting to be enough. We don't want it to go on too long, but we'll at least create a 40-digit number here. So
I should write down on a piece.
You should write them down so you'll know because when I repeat them, you want to make sure we got it right. So give me a 2-digit number. 19. All right, so write 19 down.
Yep.
And okay, the next one?
78.
78. Okay, the next one?
Are you writing these down?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, nothing up my sleeve. 63.
63. 63, okay.
22.
What'd you say?
22.
22. 22. Okay, the next one?
7.
Okay, so it needs to be 2 digits. So you're plotting for dramatic effect. 7.
47.
Oh, 47. I didn't hear that. Okay. The next one?
84.
84. Okay.
13.
All right. The next one?
13.
13. Okay. The next one?
95.
95. Okay. The next one?
34.
34. 34. Okay. The next one?
68.
68. Okay, the next one?
26.
26. Okay, next one?
92.
92. Okay, the next one?
54.
54. So 92 is before that, right?
Yep.
92 and then 54.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one?
43.
43. Okay. The next one?
14.
14. Okay, the next one?
75.
75. Okay, the next one?
49.
We'll just do a few more here. Right now we're at 17 digits, so it's a 34-digit number. And what did you say, 49?
I did. I said 49.
49, okay. The next one.
We'll make this easy. 99.
99. 49 and 99. Okay, next two more.
21.
21, deck of cards. We had to get that on there, okay? And the next one.
55, because I can't drive it.
That's right. You stole my joke. And whenever I was in high school, we were in calculus class. We were doing derivatives of numbers, and I raised my hand and I said, "Mr. Tillery, I can't derive 55."
That's perfect. Okay, so I have them written down right here. Put your, shoot, so people see that, like, nothing up your sleeve, right?
Yeah, nothing up my sleeve. Okay, so I'll say this number as I remember it, and if I get it right, let me know. And if I miss one, just let me know that too. I don't always get it perfect.
Okay.
I'll repeat them as single digits. 19786322, and then after the 22, it's 47841395534, and then 6826925443147549992155.
Boom! There it is on the Be Good to People sticky notepad. Mike, let me take this mic right here and drop it, because.
Okay, let me see if I can say it backwards now. So,
oh my gosh, really? Okay, so in pairs of two or individual digits?
I'm gonna say individual digits backwards.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Don't look at the screen. I'm gonna put this up and show people. So if you'll look that way, okay, he's gonna read this backwards, starting from here.
Okay, so I will go backwards. Let's see, where am I at? Okay, so it's 5-5, and then 1-2, and then after that it is 9994, and then 5-7, and then 4-1-3-4-4-5, and then 2-9, and then 6-2-8-6-4-3-5-9-3-1-4-8-7-4-2-2-3-6, and then 8-7-9-1.
Wow.
Okay. All right.
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. That was absolutely amazeballs. How do you do that? How do you do that?
It's magic.
And now I'm going to pull a rabbit out of my ear.
Yeah, so it's actually a very simple system, and it's based on a couple different concepts here, but I'll just take three of the main ones out of it. And here's the idea. Whatever you want to remember, as long as you have a place to store it, you can go back and retrieve it later. So here's an example. You walk into your house, and when you walk into your house, or not your house, you go to your friend's house. You take off your jacket, and you set your jacket down on a chair in a room in the front of your friend's house. You hang out at your friend's house for 3 hours. It's time to go. When it's time to go, your brain says your coat is in that room on the chair. Mm-hmm. So you go back to that room, to the chair, you get your coat. This is exactly how I memorized that number. I have my house mapped out. My house I have numbered. My cabinet over here is number 6. This right here, this cabinet, I was in the military, and here's some of my souvenirs from the military, if you can have souvenirs from the military. 8 is my TV, 9 is this chair, and 10 is the window here. So I have pieces of furniture in my house numbered. And then anytime I want to remember something, I make a picture, make it into a picture, and I imagine it interacting with these pieces of furniture in order. So let me share with you what I mean. Everybody right now who's watching this, in the room that you're in, I want you to look to your left, the first big piece of furniture in that room. What is it for you, Joel?
It's my bookshelf that's right over there, which actually has all my books on it.
Okay, cool. So I want you to imagine on that bookshelf, Joel, a washing machine. Imagine you're putting those books in the washing machine.
Oh, so there's a shelf over there?
Yeah, so imagine I want everybody right now who's watching this to look to, for you to be a bookshelf. Look at that piece of furniture over there and imagine a washing machine over there.
Okay.
You're putting in the clothes.
Yeah.
Now going clockwise. The next big piece of furniture for you, what is it?
Well, I'm in my office, so I'm going to go by office supplies. Okay. So I've got a printer right down here.
Everybody else, you go to whatever your number 2 is. For you, Joel, I want you to imagine a dam, like a dam on a river. Well, I want everybody to imagine a dam. Imagine a dam, like a dam on a river, on that number 2 piece of furniture.
Folks, this printer here is a dam.
There you go.
The damn printer.
There you go. We got the same brain. Okay. The next big piece of furniture, we're only going to do 5. The next big piece of furniture going around, I want you to imagine a chef. So what's your next big piece of furniture?
It's my 36-inch monitor.
All right. So now you got a chef. He's cooking your favorite meal or whatever. Everybody else imagine a chef on number 3. We're going to do 2 more. Okay. Go on to the next piece of furniture. What is it?
So I've got my lights. There's a light stand over here. Okay.
So on your lights, I want you to imagine medicine. Everybody who's watching this on number 4, I want you to imagine medicine. Tylenol, Benadryl, Advil, medicine's falling off of that.
Okay. So I've got a washing machine, a dam, a chef, and medicine.
Okay. One last one. That's right. What's your last one?
I've got a very cool 7 Life Learnings poster from Maria Popova. Here, braindroppings.com.
There you go. On that poster, I want you to imagine a man in a rowboat, a man rowing a boat. So everybody see that on your number 5, a man in a rowboat.
Stroke. Okay.
There you go. Okay, so what were the 5 things that I gave you and everybody else play along?
Washing machine, a dam, a chef, medicine, and a man in a rowboat.
There you go. Hey! This is exactly how you memorize.
That's just like 1978, 63, 22, 47. Hey.
Yeah, it's exactly the same way. Here's what I did. So you have 5 pieces of furniture in this room, right?
Yeah.
If we had time, we would go to the next room, do 5 in that room, 5 in that room, 5 in that room, 5 in that room, and you'd have 30, 40 things numbered. Now, when you want to memorize something, you create it, you turn it into a picture, and you see it interacting with that furniture. My 7-year-old cousin, Mason, he wanted to memorize the presidents of the United States a few months ago. So I said, okay, Mason, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go around your house, and we're going to number furniture, and then we're going to take the presidents' names and create pictures for them and see it on the furniture. So the first president is Washington. So we imagined a washing machine. The next president was Adams. So we imagined a dam for Adams. The next president wasn't Jefferson. It was Jefferson, but it kind of sounds like Jefferson. The next president wasn't Madison, but it was Madison, which sounds like medicine. And then the next president was Monroe, which sounded like a man in a rowboat. So this 7-year-old little boy memorized all 44 presidents in literally 60 minutes. And he can say them forwards, or he can walk through the house, he can say them backwards. Or if you say, what's number the 30th president, he can count to the 30th piece of furniture and tell you it's Coolidge. So that's how you memorize.
So if we got to number 45 for presidents, I would think rump, and then I would think Trump.
There you go. There you go. Create whatever you want. There you go.
Is this okay? So is this one strategy, or is this like the magic juju that you use for everything?
Well, it's one of the main strategies. You know, for names and faces, you probably would do a little bit different, but it in math formulas probably a little bit different. Definitions or languages might be a little different, but this is really a technique that can get you really, really far. For example, let's say you want to give a speech. You're a business person and you want to give a speech tomorrow and you don't want to use any notes. Take the 10 things you want to talk about, imagine them on pieces of furniture in your house. When you get up in front of the group the next day, think of your house and give that speech without notes. It's a really powerful technique.
So no matter what you're trying to do you always reference back your house? Is that like your home base is your point of connection for all of these exercises?
Yeah, my house is yes. I mean, I reuse this over and over again. Now, with that said, I got my house numbered, my office numbered, my friend's house numbered, my favorite restaurant numbered, my cousin's house numbered, my dad's house numbered. So I've got a lot, but this concept of using houses is the concept I go with.
Nicole says you better not move.
It's good if you can move. It's good if you do move, because then you remember your old house and you create new ones. So the more you move, the better.
Wow. Well, I am going to take a short break here because there's something I remembered I need to do. And this is, by the way, you're watching Joel.live. I'm blown away. My guest here is Ron White, two-time national memory champion, and he's teaching us some great tips for improving our memory. And I've got a washing machine over here. I've got a dam here. I've got a chef here. I've got medicine there, and a man in a rowboat over there, which would help me to remember Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, and Monroe as the first 5 presidents of the United States. And yes, Vass, he is a champion. You're getting you're blowing some minds here. People are this is a really good afternoon break, as Teresa says. Okay, so your site, you guys are going to want to know more about Ron, and he's got a freebie. Let me put this up for you here. The website is memorytips.net. Make a note of it, write it down, bookmark it, because you're going to want to go here, and there's a freebie. Just put your email. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. Heck yeah, I need this. Give it to me. 10 minutes a day is what he says we need to do in order to get this. And there's a video here that you guys can watch. Memorytips.net is Ron's, and he's got a full course here that you could take advantage of as well. So go check that out. Oh, now he's talking to me. There's an audio.
The question is you autoplay or not? I do, but anyway.
I've got you in stereo. You're here and you're there. Okay, so how do you do the thing where, you meet 20 or 200 people and remember their names, because they are not furniture in your house and they are moving, around all the time, and then you don't know where they're going to sit, and you've got to pick these faces out of the room. How does that work?
Well, first of all, while we were talking a minute ago, somebody popped up a question on the screen. Is it cheating to tape the name to the furniture? Ooh. I don't know if it's cheating, but I don't know if it's going to – there you go. I don't know if it's cheating, but I don't know if it's going to help you. I think it would be better if you could stare at that piece of furniture and imagine a big 3D crystal clear image and see the action and emotion and try to feel the water splashing against the dam. I think involving your senses like that is going to help you a lot more than reading a word taped to a piece of furniture.
My printer just got wet.
Yeah, there you go.
Because the dam broke.
There you go. That's better, I think. So now on the names and faces, it is the same concept. And it's the concept that you, for whatever you want to recall, you turn it into a picture, like Washington washing machine, and then you store it in a location. Well, it's the same concept, except you're not putting them on pieces of furniture in your house. You are attaching the picture to them. So what I'll do is I'll walk around an audience, and let's say I walk by Joel. In 2 seconds, I've got to ask myself, what stands out to me on Joel's face? And oddly enough, Joel, you've got 3 things that really stand out. Normally, I'd struggle with which one am I going to pick. Or normally, it would either be your hair, your glasses, or your beard. I'm going to go. What's that?
What if I shave by the time I sit in my seat and you've picked the beard?
That's true. As long as they don't shave by the time that 1 hour meeting is over, I'm good.
Hair, glasses, beard. So I've got these distinctive features that would help you.
Correct. And at a conference, you know what I would probably do? I would probably zoom in on those glasses. Although you may not wear them every single day, I know you would wear them for the conference. So my picture for Joel is a piano, because I grew up being a Billy Joel fan. So every time I meet a Joel, I see a piano. So now I'm at this conference. I say, hi, my name is Ron. You say your name is Joel. I'm looking at those glasses, and boom, I imagine I'm playing the piano on those glasses. I go to the next person. He's got really big ears. I say, hey, what's your name? He says, Steve. My picture for Steve is a stove. So I imagine I'm cooking his ears, and his ears are, getting all burned. And so that's what I do. But I do it very, very quickly. And the reason I can do it quickly is I've literally turned 2,000 common names into a picture, and I just know them like that.
Okay, so this is you've basically the names you will use stove again and again for every Steve that you meet.
Mm-hmm. And that's the only way you can develop speed with it. So every Steve's a stove, every Joel's a piano, every Brian is a brain. So then I place those landmarks on the people's clothing or on their face, or their glasses or whatever. Then I get up on stage, and when I have them stand up, I'm just running around the audience looking for the distinctive features. And when I see the distinctive features, I just see your glasses. I remember the piano, and I say, Joel. And that's really how I do it. And it's easy and it's simple. Two things that are very important I want to mention about this. When I do this demonstration as a speaker at a conference, I'll use their glasses or their hat or their coats or their jackets because I know I'm only going to need that name for an hour. If this is a real life scenario, don't do that. Use stuff like their hair or their big ears or their eyes, something that's not going to change. That's caveat number one. The second thing that I will tell you on this is if you want it to go into your long-term memory, you're going to have to review it that night. You're going to have to review it the next morning when you wake up, and you're going to have to review it the next day. So you need to do a couple reviews before it goes into your long-term memory.
Okay, and I'm assuming you're, I didn't know you had a course. I'm not surprised that you have a course, but I'm assuming that that this essentially gives people everything that they would need to know to get this. I mean, okay, right here, you got me right here. I just came back from Germany and Czechoslovakia, where of course they speak German and Czech, and I, picked up a couple German words. But how can I learn a foreign language in a flash? Because I would love to be able to do that. Well,
the best way to learn a language is to immersion, to go to that country. But if you can't, not everybody can move to a country for a year or whatever. The second best way, I think, of those programs simply like Rosetta Stone or Pimsleur method or whatever. With that said, I think that you can use memory techniques and combine them with something like Rosetta Stone. Because I don't think, in other words, if you had $200 to spend on learning a foreign language, I would just be honest with you and say, I think Rosetta Stone's your best option. But if you could do Rosetta Stone and then couple it with memory techniques, I think that is a great option. And what I mean by that is visualize the words. Let's take the word mesa in Spanish. Mesa means table. So you would take what it means, the English word table, and you would take the Spanish word mesa and create a picture for that, maybe a mess, like you've spilled something. And then
I made a mesa.
There you go. So it's about seeing pictures and then attaching those pictures to what it means, to the definition there.
So these methods are extremely useful, especially if you're a visual person, if you're a visual learner. I learn by seeing and doing, right? Kinesthetic and visual. I don't learn by hearing. Hearing is hard for me. So, but I'm hearing you say that pictures are just essential.
Yeah, your mind remembers pictures, and there's been scientific studies on this. They did a study where they showed a group of students a series of pictures, and then they showed the students a series of words, and the recall on what they saw with the pictures, which is astronomical compared to words. And another thing on that is just think about you and think about your everyday life. How many times have you said, I am so good with faces, I never forget a face, I just can't think of your name? The reason you don't forget faces is you saw the face. The reason you forget names is you never saw the name. The mind remembers what it sees. Pictures really are the strong for your memory.
Yeah, the name disappears the moment I shake the hand. It just kind of goes out into the ether. And so, okay, this is interesting. I'm going to have to give this a try. I would ask you, are you a card player?
You know what? I'm not a card player, and that's what my lawyer tells me to tell everybody.
Right. Yeah. So facial recognition in Vegas, they would see you coming and go, that's that memory guy. Yeah. Okay, you don't want to talk about that, clearly. So we'll move.
No. I don't do anything with card counting or anything like that. The card counting is more math than it is memory. You're adding and subtracting ones. And I kind of joke about it, but I really don't do blackjack at the casinos. I don't. I'll tell you, well, that's a different story. But no, I've never done it.
So great stuff. Thanks for sharing this. Let's change topics, just because I've discovered that we have a similar passion.
Yes.
And are we going to a room with some different furniture now?
No, we're going to get my charger, because we're about to die.
Let's not do that. Yeah. What's your shirt say?
Oh, you know what, Joel? I was thinking of changing shirts because I want the people to think I'm somewhat of a professional. Yeah. But I ran out of time and I didn't have time to change shirts, so I apologize. The shirt, but it's just, I'm kind of a clown.
Yeah. No, you're in the right place. You're in Clown Central. I think that's awesome. So I've discovered that we share a passion for cryptocurrency and blockchain, and you actually have a Facebook page or a group that you started, and it's called Crypto. What is it?
Crypto Brain.
Crypto Brain, and you kind of started it because you just wanted to have a place to talk about this stuff. And you discovered that I have a podcast, the Bad Crypto Podcast, which is consuming a lot of my life, because it's, there's those times in your life where you just hit the home run and you've got the overnight success. And that's what is happening with the show. And now I find myself going to this blockchain conference and being contacted by, companies and ICOs, and I'm loving it. I just think crypto is the bee's knees, whatever that even is. I don't know who came up with that. Tell me your opinion of Bitcoin and blockchain and cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I was very skeptical of it a year or two ago, which, like everybody, now looking back, I wish I wasn't. I was just, and I didn't get involved in it a year or two ago because I kept hearing all the negative stuff, the illegal, it was for illegal stuff, or people who are big up in creating Bitcoin were turning up dead and all this other stuff. And I was like, oh, I got to stay away from that. But probably about March, it just clicked in my brain. And it clicked in my brain maybe about 3 weeks. It seemed like about 3 or 4 weeks after that, it just really took off in April or May. And in March, it necessarily wasn't that big yet. And I went in and I bought some stuff just for the heck of it. I bought some Litecoin. I think I bought Litecoin at $3, and
nice.
I got some Ethereum at like $17 back then, and I'm fascinated by it. I think the blockchain technology is so fascinating. Blockchain technology is definitely here to stay. The question will be, are the currencies here to stay? And I hope so. But what do you think?
I think that the fact that it's decentralized, even though governments like in China, they're trying to take control of it, it by its very nature, it wants to be free of centralization. If the governments of the Western world do attempt to squash it, they're going to have a pretty strong fight, from those that are deeply vested. And the fact that banks are now investing billions into developing their own, we're entering a new era, and I don't think it's going away. And I'm going all in. I'm not a financial advisor, so Travis and I tell people don't take our advice, but over the 22 years I've been in tech, I've kind of had a nose for the next big thing. And my track record is really good. And I feel the same spidey senses tingling on this as I have some of the other things I've done that have come to pass. So I'm going on instinct. Plus, it's fascinating as heck. It's just, it's this rabbit hole. Once you start going down it, and understanding it and seeing the possibilities and some of the innovative things people are doing, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah, it is. It's what do you think is going to be how long until I can go and pay somebody using my phone? I can pay them or something like that.
Well, not too long. In fact, we just did an episode here. It was episode, I think, 24, 25, called Cash, Charge, or Crypto, where we talked about the companies that are now offering debit cards that you can load your Bitcoin and some other currencies onto, and you go and swipe, and it instantly transmutes your currency to fiat. And so that's happening. That's happening.
I know. There's 10x. I think. I mean, I don't have any 10x coins. I don't have any of them, so I'm not trying to do anything.
I do.
Is that what you're talking about?
10x token card, and there was one other that we referenced on the show, which evades me at the moment because my memory has not been trained. But I'm gonna whip that thing into shape because now I'll feel guilty if I don't. Washing machine, dam, chef, medicine, man rowing a boat.
There you go.
Look what you've done to me.
Yeah.
Ron White, what have you done to me? Hey, thanks so much for joining me for this episode of Joel Live. And I'm going to go and put your site up one more time. This is Ron White, two-time national memory champion. MemoryTips.net is where you guys want to go to get his memory tips, and follow his stuff on Facebook. And if you get a chance to see him speak, or maybe I'm sure there's some videos of you out there speaking on stage, wowing the audience, maybe they get a look at that as well on your YouTube. I'm assuming you have a YouTube channel of some kind. Yeah.
Actually, I do. If people go to ronwhitevideo.com, it'll redirect to my YouTube.
Let's put that up right here.
I think it will. I haven't checked in a long time. ronwhitevideo.com.
Let's hope it shows up, because we just shared it with the world. And
there you go. Yeah, it'll redirect my YouTube.
Excellent. Go check out his stuff. And thanks again, Ron. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, man. Hey, thank you. I'm glad we got to meet.
And hang out in the lobby for just a second. I'll be right back with you, my friend. And thanks to all of you who are super awesome. I hope you learned something tremendous today. I know I did. And now that I have information, they say you'll know the truth will set you free. Well, now I know the memory strategy, and now it's up to me and it's up to you whether or not we're going to apply this stuff and develop our memory. I really recommend you go check out Ron's stuff. Not only is he super smart, but he's a really nice guy too. Starting next week, Joel.live is going to continue. I'm still going to bring you really cool people on the show. So make sure that you watch for when those are coming. But next Monday, Jeff Adams is going to be handing me the baton. It is a relay. He's handing me the baton for Be Live Weekly. He's doing his final show. Of course, it happens every Monday on the Be Live page at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific. And Jeff is going to be starting another show of his own. I'm taking over Be Live Weekly, which is going to be news, reviews, information, shenaniganery, and maybe some memory tips of my own. I don't know. We'll see if I can remember to do it. Anyway, I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. If you haven't checked out the Bad Crypto podcast, please do so. And I've got a freebie for you. If you guys want to download my free live video playbook, it's yours. All you got to do is go to lvplaybook.com. And this is 8 proven steps to getting more customers and making more sales with live video. It's one of the most beautiful PDFs you've ever seen in your life. That is my promise to you. So go check it out at lvplaybook.com. And that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Joel Live. Thanks again for watching. And until next time, do good stuff.